Oh. What in the world did I just watch? I just don't, where do I, what in the I'm losing my mind. This film has literally driven me into its... Okay, calm down, Tony. Let's reel it in, shall we? Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Take Two, a movie review series critiquing the latest films hitting the cinemas and discussing which films to see and which ones to avoid at all costs. And my goodness, just 2 reviews in, and already we're dealing with a doozy of a film. This film is the neo-noir thriller that made me feel the exact opposite of its title, Serenity. Serenity follows Baker Dill, a fishing boat captain living a calm life on the island of Plymouth. But this all changes one day when his ex-wife shows up and asks that he kill her new husband. He soon discovers that things are not what they seem. In all honesty, I was completely unaware that this film was coming out until maybe a couple days ago. And at first glance, the film looked quite promising, with Matthew McConaughey, Anne Hathaway, Jason Clarke, Diane Lane, and the black guy from Blood Diamond attached. That's a star-studded cast. Stephen Knight, a one-time Oscar-nominated writer, writing and directing the film, and a pretty basic, simple, yet effective premise. It looked like it was shaping up to be a rather intriguing, or at the very least, entertaining film. But then I did a little digging on Serenity, and after learning that the premiere date had been pushed back twice, and they decided to release the film in January, which is historically known for releasing bad films, my confidence in its quality began to diminish. And you know what? I was absolutely right. This film suffers from a severe case of January movie syndrome. But it's not all bad now, as I found the acting in the film to be really solid. Everybody does a great job with their performance, particularly Matthew McConaughey. I was sold in his performance. He really brought his character to life, although I will say that he was channeling a lot of Russ from True Detective in this film. In fact, I could almost argue since 2014, he's been channeling that type of character, the one that's very serious and he talks like this, very low, and he stares at people so mysteriously, like, what's going on here? All right, all right, all right. And although the story was a complete mess, its concept is rather intriguing, and in the hands of a better writer-director, they may have pulled it off. But with Serenity, that just wasn't the case. Truly, Serenity's biggest flaw is the major twist midway through the film. That twist will either make or break your entire experience. And in the case of my director and I, it completely shattered it. From that point on, I was no longer engaged, I was no longer invested in the film. If I were to sum it up with a comparison, Serenity is basically the modern day version of the film Jacob's Ladder. It really starts and ends with that major twist, because after its reveal, nothing in the film matters from that point on, and everything that came before it is completely useless. The character development, the relationship between the characters, the story, all of it was completely pointless. Most of the characters in the film are forgettable or superfluous to the story. Diane Lane's character served nothing to the plot. She did not need to be there, and it was a complete waste of Diane Lane's talent and time, as well as the black guy from Blood Diamond. He had nothing to do in the film. And finally, the story is a convoluted mess. None of it made sense, none of it was truly enthralling, and it constantly makes you say, what in the world is going on? To sum it all up, Serenity is a huge waste of time for the talent involved, for the people working on it, and especially for the people watching it. It is a film that is deserving to be released in January. I could argue that it's fascinatingly bad, but it's not fascinatingly bad enough to make you want to go check it out. I give this film 1 fishing rod out of 5. And that was my take on Serenity. Be sure to share your take on the film in the comments below. And now it's time to share our favorite comment from last week's Glass review, which comes courtesy of David MPE74, who writes, "This is amazing. The editing is fantastic and the commentary is very engaging. Can't wait to see more." Well, I can't wait to show you more, David. Thank you for your awesome comment. And if you'd like your comment to be featured, be sure to comment below this video and we'll pick our favorites for next week's episode of Take 2. And as always, guys, I'm Tony Whatley II from Take 2, and cut!